watch the world go round.
Hello there. In the spring, one of the first things I do in the garden is tidy up the grass. I use a rake to take out all the dead grass and other rubbish that's gathered there during the winter. Listen. It's a cuckoo. Cuckoos spend most of their time in countries far away like Africa. But every spring they come here to lay their eggs. So when you hear a cuckoo calling, you know it's spring. Another sign of spring is when the grass starts growing again. And mine is getting quite long already. I'll need to cut it soon. I'm amazed it's still alive after last year. Let me tell you what happened. It all began last spring, a year ago, when Webster was just a puppy. One morning I was having breakfast when suddenly I heard this sound. It was coming from the garden. What was it? Sheep in my garden. They had wandered in from the farm next door, and they were eating my grass. Hey, come on, shoo!
Oh my goodness.
Charlie, am I glad to see you? The farmer, his daughter Julie, and Megan the sheepdog rounded up the sheep. They took the sheep back to their field. Sheep are grazing animals. That means they feed on grass. There are other animals who graze, like cows, deer, horses, and ponies. The sheep hadn't done any damage to my grass, but I did notice a bare patch in one corner where the grass had died. So I decided to sow some grass seeds. First, I made sure the soil was loose and crumbly. I scattered the grass seeds on the soil. Then I mixed them in gently with my rake. Soon the seeds began to grow. First of all, each seed grows a shoot and a root. The shoot grows upwards and pops up out of the ground, while the root grows downwards. Then a tiny green leaf appears up above the ground, while more roots grow down below. The first root pushes its way down and down, deep into the ground. All the roots take in water and goodness from the soil to help the plant grow. Then the shoot stops growing, but the green leaf is getting longer and longer. It unfolds, and wrapped inside it is another leaf. That one unfolds, and there's another, and another. And that's what happened in my garden. About 3 weeks after I sowed the seeds, they had grown lots of green leaves called blades of grass. I gave the new grass plenty of water to help it grow. Webster was growing too. He was still a puppy, but he was getting bigger every day. As the weather got warmer, all the grass in my garden was growing quite quickly. By the time the summer had come, I was glad I had a lawnmower to cut the grass. I didn't cut all the grass. I had left some of it to grow, and now, in the summer, it was growing flowers. We have about 700 different kinds of grass in our country, and they all have different flowers. I had a book with pictures of some of them, so I could find out their names. One of my grasses had lots of tiny pale purple flowers. I found it in my book. It's called quaking grass. A grass you can find growing almost everywhere is this one. It's called meadow grass. And there was a lot of it growing in my garden. It was a very hot summer. The heat from the sun kept drying up the soil, and so I kept watering it. Of course, rain is the best way to water the garden. But when it doesn't rain, I need to do it. But then one day, I had to stop. It hadn't rained for a long time. The reservoirs, where our water is stored, were nearly empty. And the hot sun was drying up the rivers and ponds. We were having a drought. Everyone had to save water so that we would all have enough to drink. Once or twice I put a little water out for the birds. But there was nothing I could do to help the grass. Without water, it slowly dried up and stopped growing. Then one day, it began to rain. It's amazing, but after the rain, the grass turned green and started growing again. Then everybody enjoyed the hot weather, playing games on the grass or just resting. I tried eating an ice lolly to cool me down, but it was melting in the hot sun. For the rest of the summer, the grass kept growing, and I kept cutting it. Until the autumn. As the weather got colder, the grass stopped growing. It does that every year. soon it was winter. On frosty mornings, the grass looked very pretty, like a silver carpet. It wasn't dead, it had just stopped growing. And that's how it lives through the cold winter. The grass in the fields doesn't grow in the winter either. So what happens to the animals who graze, like the sheep? The farmer feeds them with grass that's grown in the summer and then dried so that it keeps for the winter. It's called hay. One morning, I looked out of the window, and what did I see? Snow! The grass was completely covered up, and we made footprints in the snow. The water in the bird bath had frozen, so I cracked the ice and poured in some fresh water. Birds need a drink and a bath even in the winter. It was a bitterly cold winter. Water birds, like the ducks and coots, had a very hard time. Their ponds were frozen, and most of the food they eat, like pondweed, was trapped under the ice.
Come on, Webster. Come on.
But then one day the snow melted, and we could see the grass again. The weather got warmer, and soon it was spring. That's the story of the grass. The grass begins to grow in spring, a carpet soft and green. We cut it and we rake it to keep it neat and clean. The grass grows in the summertime, where children like to play. It's food for grazing animals who eat it every day. But grass won't grow in winter. It hides beneath the snow until the spring comes round, and then the grass begins to grow again.
What's the matter, Webster?
Oh, your water bowl's empty. There you are. He was thirsty, just like the grass in the summer. Only Webster needs water all year round. Summer, autumn, winter and spring.